some data manipulation in Python. So because this is more of a data analysis class with Python, so we are not going to go deep into some data structures like I said last week. So I had a go at it and decided that let's just go straight into some how to manipulate data in Python and the likes, because we don't have enough weeks. Before we say Jacob Basin now, we are 5 weeks. We'll conclude the 5 weeks. So now for manipulating data in Python, we usually make use of a library known as pandas. So pandas is used to manipulate data in Python. And that is what we are going to do. That's what we are going to do this evening. But before we go into that, now I'm going to send you this data that I have with me. So you need, because like I said last week, that we are going to be making use of the Jupyter Notebook. That's what we are going to be making use of. So when I send you the data, first you need to check the working directory of your Jupyter Notebook. And how do you check the working directory of your Jupyter Notebook? So first you have to say that import OS. Then you will now say that os.get cwd. So what you are saying here is os.get the working directory for me. So let me run this now. So now this is my own working directory. So if you are testing it on your own working directory might actually be different. Your own working directory might be different. And after this class, I'm going to upload this on YouTube. But it's very likely that from next week, I'm not sure yet, but from next week, we might be holding the class live on my YouTube channel. So, but I will update us on it by next week. We might be opening the class live on my YouTube channel. And if you are watching on YouTube as well, please, if you are watching this video on YouTube, you can subscribe to my channel as well. So now, like I said, when I started that, you import pandas for data manipulation. But first, you need to check the working directory, because if you don't check the working directory, there's no way that you can import data into your Python. So when you check the working directory, you are going to need to actually copy your data into this working directory. What does this C means is my local disk. So when I click on my local disk, I will see users. When I see users, I will click user, and that is where my working directory is. So I need to first of all go and copy my data into the working directory. I'm going to send the data to Ross. So I need to first of all copy my data into the working directory. And like I said, it's a fake data. It's not a real data at all. So let's start with importing pandas. Like I said, pandas is used to manipulate data in Python. So let's start with importing pandas for data manipulation. So how do we import pandas? So we are going to say that import pandas as PD. Now, let me make this clear. The PD we are saying is an alias. So I could as well say import pandas alone. You can see up here, I said import OS. OS means operating system. So I now said os.get cywd. So I could as well say that import pandas alone. And when I want to call out pandas, I will say pandas dot. So Let me call our variable. I believe that you still remember variable last week. So data employee equals to, now I have made pandas as PD. I have made pandas to be aliased as PD. So I will now say that PD dot read CSV. So I want to read in my data now, read CSV, and the data in which I want to read in is called fake data. Fake data dot CSV. Now, the data here is in CSV format. So you could have another data in Excel format, that is XSLX. So if you have data in Excel format, then it has to be read XSLX. But this one is in CSV format. So what this does is to read in our data. Read in the data. That is what it does. Read in the data that we want to manipulate. So don't forget that this one is our what? Our variable. So let me run this now. Now, if I want to check the variable that I just created, which is the data employee, let me run it. So as you can see, this is my data. So you can see here, I have ID, I have name, email, phone number, address, city, state, zip code, country, date of birth. Those are the column of this data. Please don't forget, just be putting down your questions. Now, if I want the first 10 of these rows to appear, how do I go about that? So I want the first 10 of the rows to appear. So first 10 of the rows. So here gives me that I have 1000 rows and 11 columns. So I want the first 10 rows to appear. How do I go about that? So that will be dot head. I'm going to make use of the dot head function. So let me run it now. So you can see that here I have the first 5 rows. Now, if I want the first 10, I will change this to 10. I will put 10 here. So that will ensure that I have first 10. Now, somebody might wonder that, okay, before I put 10, why is it that it was only 5 that was appearing? That is because 5 is the default. So either you put 5 or you do not put 5. When you say dot head and you put in the brackets, that is the default. I believe that you know what default is. So if I want the first 7 rows, so I can put 7 here, is the first 7 rows that is going to appear. If I want the first 5 rows, I don't need to put 5 there because it is going to show me the default, which is 5. I believe you understand that. Be putting down your questions. If I want the first 20 rows to appear, so I can change this to 20 as well, and it's going to appear so you can see. And when you look at the numbering here, I want you to take note of something. Numbers in computer start from 0, doesn't start from 1. In mathematics, numbers start from 1. In data analysis or data science, number starts from 0. So let's continue. Now, if I need more information, like I said, we are just doing some data manipulation in Python. So if I need, let's assume that I need more information about the data. If I need more information about the data, so which function am I going to make use of? So I'm going to make use of a function known as .info. That's what I'm going to make use of. The function known as .info. .info. So because it is a function, you have to put a closed bracket with it. So take note of it. Any function in Python, you have to put a closed bracket with it. It is very important. So as you can see it here now, it gave me more info about my data. So it's telling me that I have a total of 11 columns and also a total of 1,000 rows. And it told me about every of those columns. It gave me more info about every of those columns. Remember that last week we talked about data types. Don't forget. So object is also known as string. Object is also known as string. This is int 64. Is also known as integer. And this is float 64. Is also known as float. I taught you I taught you data types last week. So don't forget that. So now let's now move on. Another way in which we can manipulate this data is assuming we want to do like a general, maybe like a general statistics. Now, when you look at this data, you know it consists of employee salary. It's a fake data. Don't read meaning to it. It's a fake data. This is not the salary of any organization. And it's not the name of any organization. So now, assuming you receive an email that can we know the average salary? Can we know the average salary for the organization? Or can we know, yes, can we know the average salary of the organization and how many people are collecting salary and the likes? Now, you can use a function known as describe. So the describe function will enable you to be able to see the mean. You will be able to see the mean. You will see 25%. You will see the minimum salary of the organization. You will see the maximum salary of the organization and the likes. So let's do it now. Now, if you want to call out a column, so this is describe is used for statistics. Describe is used for statistics of data. So if you want to call out a column in a pandas, in a data frame, if I want to call out this column alone, all I need to do is to put the name of the variable and put a bracket here. Then in a quotation, then I will put salary. So this is going to mean that I am only calling out this column, which is column salary. If I should run this now, you will see that it's only giving me salary alone. So it is this salary that I want to know the average salary. Average also mean salary. And I want to know the minimum salary and also know the maximum salary of the organization. Now, when you look at it, 1,000 entries, it's going to take time before you start saying you want to know the average salary. It's going to take time. However, that's the essence of Python for you. So you will just use the describe function. So that would be data employee into the quotes of describe, then dots describe. And I've told you that a function in Python has to have both a closed and an open and a closed bracket. So let me run this now. Now, as you can see, it has done the statistics for me. So here now, I have what is called the total number of employees on salary, which is 1,000. I have the average, which is the mean. So that means that the mean salary is 59,300 of the organization. STD means standard deviation. Then the minimum salary that is being collected in this organization is 11,000 pounds. And 25%, which is 25 percentile salary, is 34,000. The maximum salary, that is the highest salary earner in this organization, is 109,923. Please be writing down your question. So already, and that's one of the essence of Python. This has already saved us time. So you can send a mail to your stakeholder and say, okay, the average salary of this organization is so. And they will know that, yes, you have actually gotten it right. So also, let's assume that you want to check name alone. Like you want to check the column for name alone. You want to see the names that are there. So you can just put name here. So it's going to call out this column alone. It's going to call out. Now, what if you want to combine 2 or 3 columns together? How do you go about that? You want to combine 2 or 3 columns together. So let's assume that you want to combine name, you want to combine salary, and you want to combine email together. You don't need the rest of those columns. How do you go about it? So this is how to go about it. So you will say that, so this is to, don't forget, you need a good comment on every of your code. So this is to select 2 or more columns. So name, let's have salary, and let's have email address as well. Now, when you are combining 2 or more columns together, now if you look at here, I only made use of 1 square bracket alone. But when you are combining 2 or more columns together, it has to be 2 square brackets. It has to be 2 square brackets. Without that, it's not going to work. So either it is 4 columns you are combining together, it has to be 2 square brackets there. So that's the difference between just calling out a column and calling out 2 or more columns. Now, because a stakeholder could say that, okay, all I need is just the name, the salary, and the email address of each employees. So obviously, every of these data is not needed. So how do you cut away the rest? So this is how to cut away the rest. So you can just select it like this, and that is going to work. I believe that we are writing down our questions. So I've taught you how to call out a column. How do we call out a row? Now, these are columns. All of these are columns. How do we call out a row? How do we call out a row? So this is how we call out a row. We make use of a function known as iloc. That's how to call out a row. We make use of a function. So let's quickly do that. So this is used to print a row. So this is going to be employee data employee. So data employee dot iloc. So it's the iloc function that is being used. So let's assume that we want to print out the third row. So iloc 3. So you can see this is the ID number, this is the name, Ethan Wood. So let's check row 4. So you look at row 3 like that, Ethan Wood, elizabethjohnson@gmail.com. And when you check here, you can see Ethan Wood, elizabethjohnson@gmail.com. So if I want to call out the first row will not be 1. The first row will be 0. So if I want to call out the first row, it is not going to be 1, it's going to be 0. So let me change this to 0 now. So you can see Rondarios. And when you come up here, you can see Rondarios. So that's why I told you that for in data analysis or in computer science generally, data numbering starts from 0 and not from 1. So again, if I want to call out maybe the last number, if I want to call out the last number, if I want to call out the last number, that's 999. That is how to call out the last number. So what if I want to call out 2 or more rows? So to print 2 or more rows. If I want to call out, let's say I want to call out the first 4 rows. So how do I go about that? So that will be 0. That is going to be 0 column 3. So you can see it has given me the first 3 rows, the first 4 rows rather. So how do I combine? So how do I select both the rows and column together? That is, how do I manipulate them? So for example, if I want just the third row and email address alone, how do I go about it? So this is how to go about it. So it's going to be data employee dot. Now You know that when we want to use the to rows alone, we make use of iLOC. But when we are combining both rows and column, we are going to make use of what is known as lock. That's what we are going to make use of. Dot lock. That's what we are going to make use of. So, comma, then we have 3 here. We have email. So what this does is that it fetches row 3 and the email address as well. So let me run it now. So if you look at row 3 now, you can see that it fetches it out, Elizabeth Johnson. So what if I want to combine many rows? So this is where I'm going to stop now. What if I want to combine, combine many rows and columns? So how do I go about that? So that will be data employee.log. Then I have a square bracket. So let's say 0 to 4. Then put a comma. Then I will now open another square bracket. So let's say I have name. Email. Then possibly let me add phone number. Yeah, I've not closed the bracket. So that's why it's giving error. So you can see here that successfully I've been able to combine the rows, many rows and columns as well. So this is more than one rows and it's also more than one column as well. So what if you now receive an email? It happens a lot. You receive an email that says that employees that earns above 70,000, that they want to know the number of employees that are earning above 70,000. How do you go about that? So employees earning above 70,000 equal to, so I want to give it a variable now. So that would be data employee. Then I will now put in a bracket and also say data employee and put in another bracket the salary column, then close the brackets and say greater than 50,000. Then I will close that bracket, greater than 70,000, sorry. Then I will close the bracket. So this is going to give me the number of employees. So I'm going to be able to list those employees that are earning above 70,000. So if I should print this one now out, it will give me those employees. So you can see it's telling me that 378 employees are actually earning above 70,000 in the organization. So what if I want to know the count of those employees? If I want to know the count of those employees, so I'm going to use the describe function that I taught you. So I will just say that dot describe. That will give me the count. It will give me the mean. It will give me this 25th percentile. It will give me the minimum of that 70,000. And will also give me the maximum. So these are the employees that are earning above 70,000. So as you can see, you see the salary. You can see it here. So this is the minimum. The minimum is 70,041. Since we said employees earning above 70,000. And this is their mean, and this is the count. So we have a total number of 378. So let's now, lastly, before I entertain questions, if we now want to save this into a CSV, how do we go about that? At least when you save into CSV, you'll be able to send the data across. So to save into CSV, so that is going to be employees dot to CSV. Then close and open the brackets. So let me call it employees earning above 75, above 70. Employees earning above 70. So now this is going to save the data inside it's going to save my data inside the working directory, and I can see it. So let's run it first. So I'm going to say dot CSV because I want it to be in CSV format. So let's check our home, and let me say last modified. You are going to see the data there. So what did I save it as? Employees 70. So if you look at here, let me refresh. I want to show you that it's going to save here. So you can see it here. Employees, you can see 49 seconds ago, employees above 70. So if I should open it, I can see the data and it's in CSV. It's in CSV format. So what we just did today is to just manipulate data, manipulate a CSV file. That's what we've done today. So let me see if we have questions. What if we don't know the name of the file we need to manipulate? Yeah, that's a very good question. We need to know that name. So that is why you need to, it's compulsory that you know the name. Because I already know the name and I was the one that saved it as fake data. So I already know the name. So it's that name that you are going to put there. So it's very important that you know the name. Yes, it's possible to import Excel. It's possible to import Excel. I said it the other time that to import Excel, you will make use of, when I add CSV there, it's going to be .xlx. It's going to be .xlx instead of .csv. That's the difference. It's going to be .sxlx instead of .csv. So everywhere I add .csv is going to be in .xlx. And that is what it's going to be. Why did you write ed? I have explained ed. People can see my screen. I don't know why you can't see it. Ed is just to show me the first 5. It's just to show me the first 5. That is what ed does. And I explain it that if you want the first 10, just put 10 there. I'm trying to read our question. In just to data you upload, I have said that I will share it. That means you are not hearing me. Yes, you can generate fake data using Python. I generated mine using Python. I will try to read in an Excel sheet for us. No, is the working directory set by default? Yes, if you have not changed it before. But that is how to check. I've showed you how to check your working directory. I've said I will give you the data for practice. The commands, is there a library of Python? No. Ed, info, describe, iloc, lock, they are all functions in Python. They are not libraries. They are all functions in Python. They are not libraries at all. If you look at here, now you can see here the import here, the libraries will appear as green, where the function appear as blue. Albeit is because I'm making use of, it's because I'm actually making use of what's it called now? Jupyter Notebook. In other platforms, it might not be like that. So that's the difference. But what you just mentioned are functions. They are not libraries. Yes, you are going to create comment by yourself. Comments will make it easy for anybody that is reading your code to understand. I don't understand your question. No. How do we see the rest of the names of employee and other details? Yeah, if you want to see any name, just scroll down, look for any column. That's why I taught you how to fetch out columns and how to fetch out rows and how to combine both. No, we cannot use normal brackets. Normal bracket is not going to work. We can only use the square brackets. Is there a part? There is no pattern to write comments. You can put your comments in front and you can put your comments on top. So it depends. And you can't write a comment wrongly, except you did not put hash. So it's going to be seeing it as a code. If you don't put hash, it's going to be seeing it as a code. If you don't put hash, it will see it as a code. So you need to put hash. I don't understand by writing a comment wrongly. The meaning of comments, if you were here last week, I taught you. I said the meaning of comments is to ensure that you somebody, even you, when you pick up the code later, you will understand what was done in the code instead of stressing yourself. Yes, it must be square brackets. You must not use you must not use the normal bracket. It must be a square bracket, 100%. How do I know where and how to use all these signs and symbols? Because when used incorrectly, is by practice. When you practice, you will know. You can't use a round bracket. How do we call out a column? Go and watch the video on my YouTube channel. I've already taught you how to call out a column. Is there? Or listen to me again when I'm doing the revision. How can I display customers from around 100 to 120, sir? This is not the customer data. I said I will give you the data. That means you are not listening to me. Yes, it's going to be on YouTube. I will upload it tonight on YouTube. Can we use square brackets for all comments? Don't use square brackets. It doesn't make you look professional. Are you still going to teach us functions aside from these ones? No, these are the functions. I said I want to use those functions. There are a lot of functions. You can always Google functions in Python. A lot of functions that you can make use of. Yes, we don't use bracket for comments. It is always an hash. That's it. I don't know. Is this Anaconda? I told you to download. Yes, you can use customer sales, such as the data employee as well. You can use customer sales. I just use it an employee data, a fake employee data. Let me attempt. I will stop sharing my screen. I want to show you how to. Let me quickly look for one. I've stopped sharing so that you will not be looking at. I'm not seeing the screen again. No. Yeah, if that is from Anaconda, just click on that Jupyter notebook. If you click on that Jupyter notebook, then it is going to work. It's going to open it to this. It's going to open it to this where I am at the moment. It's going to open it there. So if you have an Excel workbook, if it is an Excel, let me show you how to. If you want to read in an Excel, I'm trying to quickly look for one Excel file. If you want to read in an Excel, yes, just click on Jupyter. When I started, that means you are not listening to me. I said it's not compulsory to use PD, but we usually abbreviate it. It's not compulsory to use PD. Yes, if the fake, but mine is in CSV, and so that's why I have it in CSV. Mine is in CSV at the moment. That's why I have it in CSV. What is the purpose of checking directory? Now, the purpose of checking directory is because we need to know, you need to go and copy your data. That was when I started. You need to go and copy your data inside the working directory. So when I send you this data tonight now, you need to copy this data inside your working directory. That is why I say you need to first of all check, what is my working directory? So if you don't check what is your working directory, there's no way you are going to know which data you are going to use. There's no way you are going to know. It's not possible. I'm trying to search for one Excel data on my system so that I can use it to as an example. And we read in, and so we can read in an Excel workbook, and I just show you. Okay, let me share my screen now. I'm coming. I want to show you something. Let me share my screen so that when you want to, let me share my screen. I've seen the data I want to copy. So listen carefully now. Now, when I started, I said that this is how to check the working directory. Import os.get working directory. So this is my working directory. C users user. All I need to do is to go to local disk C. So open local disk C and look at it, users. Then I will click on users. Then again, user. Then I will click on user. That is my working directory. Then I'm going to now paste it here. I'm going to paste my data here. So this is the name of my data now. And it's in Excel. You can see Microsoft Excel. Oh, it's not even in Excel. Oh, it's in CSV. Oh, it's not in Excel. It's even in CSV. Okay, let me open it and maybe resave it. I have most of my file in what's it called? In CSV. Okay, let me save it. Let me save this in Excel format. Let me save this in Excel format. Yeah, Excel workbook. So now let me go and save it in the users. So that is how you do. So you can see I've saved it as Excel workbook now. So let me come back here. It's because I want to show you how to read in Excel as well. Yeah, so you can see it has, you can see that this is now a Microsoft Excel worksheet. This is a Microsoft Excel worksheet. So so that you will not make an error, just right click and click on rename, then copy it. So let's go to our programming now. So let's assume that I want to now, I need this to be in Excel now. I want to read in this Excel workbook now. So let me call it insurance data. So that will be pd.read Excel, then into brackets, the insurance data. It will now be .xlxx. That's what it's going to be. So this is how to read in an Excel workbook. No such directory as Excel. Now that means that it's not even saved as XLLX. That's what it's because it's not saved as XLX. Yeah, sorry, I'm the one that is making mistake. It's XLXX. Yeah. So let's now open this and you will see it there now. You will see the insurance data now. So this is the insurance data. Can you see it now? So that is how to load in an Excel workbook. So XLXX pd.read Excel. And that's why it's different from reading CSV, reading CSV. I hope I've answered those questions now. You can't generate data like that. There's another code to generate data. I will send you the data. I've already told you the purpose of checking directory. So all you need to do when I send you this data is to copy it. When you download it, copy it to your working directory. Can you pick the file and drop it into Python directly? No, you have to make use of pandas to fetch out the data. You can't just pick the file and drop it. No. This is the only way to get data into Python. So, yeah, PyCharm can do it. Can we copy the file into desktop? It shows you are not listening to me. If you copy the file into desktop and you want to read it in, it's not going to work. That shows you are not listening at all. You have to copy the file to your working directory. First of all, check your working directory, then copy the file into that working directory. Copy the file into it. It's not going to work on desktop. How will it work? Computer doesn't do magic. Okay? So let me do a quick recap of what we did today. So we read in the CSV file. I taught you how to fetch columns alone, fetch rows plus column, fetch a combination of column and rows together. That was what I taught you. And how to also filter. So we call this filtering. And how to save into CSV as well. So if we are saving to Excel, it will just be to Excel. And this one will be to XLXX. And those are just the only differences. So thank you for joining the class. As promised, I will send the data tonight to us, and you can watch the video on YouTube tonight as well. So thank you so much for joining. I will see you in the next class by next week. I will communicate if we are going to have it on YouTube next week. So thank you so much. Bye for now.